Story 1. This may sound unusual, but my dog's snoring is oddly relaxing. It reminds me that he is there, which my mind accepts as a comforting presence. Story 2. I live in Louisiana. The swamp reeds clack together when it is windy while I am fishing on the bayou. Story 3. I have never had a great place to share this. In my house growing up, the water lines ran right under the bathroom floor. When I ran the water to fill the bath, I would put my ear down to the floor and listen to the water running in the pipes. It was the most calming sound. I have a feeling it probably sounded like being in the womb, so I had an innate response to it. Story 4. My dog's ears flap when he shakes his head, and he makes little contented noises when he is being petted. Story 5. My spouse's gentle breathing while sleeping helps me sleep, despite my rough sleep pattern. Story 6. Morning doves, especially if you're outside taking a little walk and you hear them, or any Legend of Zelda track. Story 7. Boyfriend moaning, boyfriend laughing, waves on the beach, birds in the forest, rain on the window, schnitzel in a frying pan. Story 8. Hearing the gentle blow of the breeze through the trees before a storm. My dog lets out a gentle, snuggly sigh as he gets comfortable. My wife's happy laughter. Story 9. The most pleasant sound to me is when I hear the smile in her voice. I also have a few other favorites from movies and games, such as the ignition sound of the proton pack, the sound a lightsaber makes when it turns on, and the bullet impact sound from the original Modern Warfare 2 when you hit a target. Story 10. When you pop a cork out of a bottle, any type of bottle, it is so satisfying. I also enjoy the sound of someone lighting a match and the accompanying smell. There is also a delightful sound when you run your fingers over the pages of a large book. The sound of the pages turning followed by the thump of the cover. Additionally, I appreciate the sound of horses' hoofs clopping and when they nicker. Story 11. A lady is experiencing intense pleasure while I am positioned between her legs. Story 12. Footsteps sinking into fresh snow, maybe, or cicadas as long as they are a 10-minute walking distance from me. Story 13. My cat is yelling at me from the other side of the phone. If she is still complaining and interrupting my conversations, she must be doing great. I also love her enthusiasm when she recognizes my voice. Story 14. Children are playing and laughing, which makes me smile every time. Babies coo and babble as they learn how their voices work and begin to understand sounds and words. It's so sweet. Story 15. When the blackbird, Turdus marilla, starts to sing as spring arrives, it brings a sound that always improves my mood after enduring the cold and dark winter months. I also recently learned that it is the national bird of Sweden. Story 16. The sounds of my children sleeping in the other room are peaceful. Their breathing and gentle snores create an atmosphere of safety and tranquility. Story 17. Mr. Softy Ice Cream Man's Song. I'm not a fan of ice cream, but knowing that children and adults are excitedly lined up to get some makes me happy. Story 18. Rain pattering on my tent wall, a skylight, or a metal roof, preferably accompanied by a distant thunderstorm. Story 19. Waves from the lake or ocean. I do not often get out of bed early enough, but every once in a while, I will go to watch the sunrise over the water, and it is beautiful. The sight and the sound never get old, and I can let go of all my troubles for an instant. Story 20. A sound from being a little kid is the low mima of the windscreen wiper motor. It makes me think of being in the car, falling asleep, and waking up outside the house after driving home. Story 21. The rustle of dry leaves while walking outside in autumn. The sound of a motorcycle passing by on the first warm day of spring. The sound of a rippling stream in the wilderness, accompanied by a bird singing periodically. Wooden wind chimes in a light breeze. The sound of my children laughing and splashing in the pool on a hot summer day. Story 22. Soft summer breeze. There is an audible difference between the breezes in different seasons that I can detect. Story 23. Rain hitting the roof while I'm cozy in bed feels like nature's white noise machine. It is the only time I feel truly at peace. Story 24. It's a very close tie between the voice of someone I love deeply and the sound of thunder during a torrential rain. Story 25. I volunteer at an animal sanctuary, which is reflected in my profile photos. My favorite sound is the constant chirping of guinea fowl. Many people advise against getting guinea fowl if you are sensitive to noise, but their constant chatter is soothing to me. I even enjoy their warning calls. I also love hearing chikar partridges. In general, I find joy in animals communicating with each other, especially when those sounds are constant chirps. Story 26. When you need to relieve gas and other people are around, you have to hold it in. Finally, when you are by yourself, you can let it out. Story 27. Ocean waves. The sound of rain. The ticking of the clock in the silence of the city at night while having a smoke on my balcony. Story 28. Nothing. By that I mean the dead calm of winter in a wooded area where you can hear your own blood pumping. Story 29. My rescued Saint Bernard spent much of his puppyhood tied to a tree alone. He likes to rest his head on my chest when we go to bed. He demands affection and eventually falls asleep. While he sleeps, he makes grunting and snorting noises, and his cheeks flutter when he breathes out. I find it quite peaceful. Story 30. The MRI machine makes me unbelievably calm and soothed. I fall asleep every time within seconds. Story 31. A soft female vocal, usually when no words are being said, only melody. The first example that comes to mind is Elenium's song Fortress, around the 1-minute mark. Story 32. I enjoy the sound of slowly driving over loose gravel. This is the sound I hear every time I drive up my parents' lane in the country. It evokes a sense of peace. Story 33. My boyfriend has a genuine singing voice. He tends to belt when he sings intentionally, and while I appreciate that because he is generally good at singing, it is absolutely beautiful when he sings absent-mindedly to himself while writing music, working, or spending time together without trying to impress anyone. I often write songs and ask for his help with the lyrics, even if I am not struggling, just to have an excuse to hear him loosen up and sing like that more often. Story 34. Nothing is better than when your macaroni comes out perfect, and you hear the sound of boiling. Story 35. A baby's laughter. I can't explain it, but when I hear a baby laugh, I can't feel sad anymore. If I'm the reason the baby is smiling and laughing, it's the best sound in the world, uplifting me to face anything the universe throws at me. Story 36. Surprised no one has mentioned train horns yet. Nothing relaxes me more than hearing one, whether right in front of me or far off. Story 37. Heavy rain and thunder. Tons of crickets chirping together on a summer night. Leaves rustling in a breeze. Waves. Story 38. Waking up in the morning and hearing birds chirping brings joy. Similarly, as the sun sets, the sounds of crickets and frogs come to life. Story 39. Aprilia RSV 1000 factory with one side blanked off and a SC Projects slip-on muffler, reaching 250 kilometers per hour through a tunnel. Absolute excitement. Story 40. A good country song is Frost on the Pines by Joe Jordan. Story 41. A large array of mechanical rollers transporting items creates a constant sound that acts as white noise, drowning out all thoughts. Someone else is washing the dishes. Story 42. Hearing the waves gently break on the shore, quietly recede, and repeat. Each time is different from the last. There is nothing to latch onto, just a blissful random piece. Story 43. Window air conditioner turning on a hot day or a thunderstorm with deep rolls of thunder. Story 44. The sound of a helicopter flying, the engine brake on a semi-truck, and the roar of an F-18 passing by while making a turn create a thunderous atmosphere in the sky. Story 45. Believe it or not, my tinnitus is the most soothing sound I hear. It's like a backyard full of singing cicadas. Story 46. The first evening birdsong in spring after a long winter. The sound my golden retriever made each morning during a big stretch. English church bells. Story 47. A crackling fireplace, my 5-year-old giggling, and my fiancé's laughter when I say something she can't hold back from laughing at. Story 48. I live on the outskirts of Chicago, far enough to hear summer insects but close enough to hear the train go by. I find great pleasure sitting with my windows open on summer evenings. Story 49. The almost inaudible whooshing sound when it is very quiet outside, away from cars and roads. Just the whooshing sound. Story 50. Rain, thunder, lightning, and wind. Elk calls. Bird songs. Oddly, there are mostly nature sounds, and I am not really an outdoorsy person. I kind of dislike being outside. Story 51. Either a lightsaber igniting or the sound that accompanies the doctor's regeneration evokes a sense of joy. Story 52. The sound of wheels on my carry-on bag trundling along the floor of the airport I am visiting for the first time. Story 53. Besides a good rain, cicadas in the summer create a calming and reflective moment. Walking outside and hearing them is a soothing experience. Story 54. Cats purring. Wind rustling through the trees on a pleasant day. Rain while trying to sleep. Hearing my cat run upstairs. Birds singing. Story 55. A silent midnight snowstorm. The stillness in the middle of the night with heavy snowfall is amazing. There are no cars driving. No strong winds. Just a peaceful, cold silence. Story 56. When I have insomnia and anxiety, my cat's purring is probably the greatest comfort I can think of. Story 57. Either the sounds of a quiet forest or the sound of my wife singing to herself when she thinks I'm not listening. Story 58. The air conditioner is on full blast, and I can hear the sounds of people and cars outside my room while on vacation at around 2 a.m. after a fun but exhausting day. That kind of sleep makes me wish for more vacation time just to rest more. I tend to be a restless sleeper. Story 59. Having a bath at dusk with the window open. Hearing the birds chirping before they settle for the night. I love it. Story 60. Adult human voices, preferably not in music. I will turn on the news, golf, or a shopping network and leave it on for hours while reading a book or browsing the internet. I literally don't care what they're saying. I've even put on hours of foreign language shopping channels. Male or female, it's just comforting to me to hear people speaking. Not singing, not rapping, not yelling, not whispering. Those sounds are unpleasant for me. I prefer that tone of being slightly focused and having a basic interest in whatever they're saying, conversational tones. Other people listen to rain or white noise to sleep. If I want to take a midday nap on a cloudy Saturday, I turn on a shopping network and listen to their lullaby of counting down how many discounts they applied to some piece of costume jewelry that we shouldn't be able to live without, even though I don't wear jewelry. Story 61. I am a figure model for a local art school, and the sound of a group of artists sketching with charcoal on paper is very soothing. Story 62. My partner and daughter are laughing together, holding nothing back. No matter what mood I'm in, it always makes me feel better. Story 63. A little silly, but the sound of my boyfriend snoring is comforting. At the beginning of our relationship, I found it hard to sleep next to him, but now it acts almost like white noise. It makes me happy knowing that I'm beside someone so special to me. Story 64. When my spouse makes a short, quiet sound when I give a quick hug or peck on the neck. Story 65. Lying upstairs in my room while my loud Indian family gathers downstairs creates a feeling of security and safety amidst the chaos. Story 66. Heavy rainfall feels cozy when I'm inside enjoying the comfort while it pours outside, and I don't have anywhere to be. Story 67. The sound of the forest blanketed in snow before it starts to melt is almost silent. There is a soft, muted energy to it that is soothing. Story 68. Two sounds. The sound of falling rain and the sound of birds chirping in the morning. I sleep so well during spring and summer, listening to the rain and feeling the cool dampness. Assuming that I needn't get up, the birds provide a pleasant backdrop. However, if I've been tossing and turning all night long, those chirping birds remind me that I need to get up shortly. Yes, shooting the messenger is frowned upon, but come on. Story 69. The sound of the forest going quiet, maybe 5 to 15 minutes before everything gets dark, and then you hear deer slowly wandering out. You think you heard them all day, but it was squirrels and turkeys until there's a different sound. It's the deer. It's kind of strange, actually, because they just seem to appear out of nowhere, but it's wonderful to watch them go about their lives. Or my daughter babbling. She's very cute. Story 70. As of now, a child's laughter fills my heart. I am 23 and cannot wait to hear my baby's laugh. However, rain is my second favorite. Story 71. Lying on the beach and listening to the waves is wonderful. Camping in the sand and enjoying the sounds all night is an amazing experience. Story 72. Uncompressed walking on Minecraft dirt. Engine starting up. Rain. My calculator sliding into its case. Story 73. When I call my mother and hear her voice on the other end, and when I am lying next to my husband and hear him breathing softly and lightly snoring. Story 74. When I was in bed with my past cat, and her whole body was glued to me while I petted her. The purrs she made were so satisfying. Story 75. When my rice cooker is done cooking, it sounds a fun little jingle. Cars driving by my apartment might seem annoying, but it's actually quite good white noise. I enjoy sleeping with a fan on when going to bed. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.